What's up, everybody? It's the Security Czar with another episode of The Way I See It. And this one you have seen before on my short reels. However, it sparked a huge debate on Instagram amongst other security professionals or who was right and who was wrong. Things got a little spicy between Kevin Ghee and I in the comments section. I responded with this video. Who in the hell said that security was above reproach? It comes to security and we see things that look apparently and blatantly wrong, then we're not supposed to say nothing. But listen, this ain't that type of platform, and I'm not that type of dude. If I see something wrong, I'm gonna call it out, and I don't care how y'all feel about it, and and I don't care who it is, and that's just what it is. And so we decided to take the debate live on Instagram to air out the disagreement, and this is how it turned out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning on. This is Melvin Key, the security czar, and this is Kevin Ghee. Kevin, can you pronounce it Ghee or G?
It's Ghee.
Yeah, Kevin Ghee. And y'all, like I said, I posted that video the other day, and Kevin jumped in on there with some comments, and I was a little bit taken back because what a lot of people don't know is Kevin is family, and we're brothers. We just had dinner and drinks not too long ago. We sat down, so it ain't no real smoke, but he has his point of view and his perspective on things, and so do I. And that's what makes this profession a good place. That two colleagues can go back and forth with each other and not take it personal, but still be able to see each other's point of view. So with that said, I know a lot of you guys saw the video, and like I said, my show is called The Way I See It. It don't mean that I'm right. It doesn't mean, also doesn't mean that I'm wrong or that I know everything. I know a lot. But, I'm just from my perspective, from the general public, if they were looking at it, what would they think? And Kevin challenged me on some things, and I challenged him on some things. He called me disingenuous. And I get his perspective on it. But nonetheless, when I looked at the views, I think Kevin and to be on my side of this thing, and is that I had more people that agreed with my perspective on it than they did with yours. And again, it doesn't mean that yours wasn't right. But again, I wasn't there with boots on the ground.
Let me start off by saying this to echo what you said. We family, right?
Yep.
I saw a lot of ridiculous comments on that post, right? And what I don't want this to be is, like just a gang war. Yes. You know what I mean? I'm on Mel, I'm on Cat. And I get it. You're going to have a perspective. But we about to get into those perspectives and why you have those perspectives. And I have a feeling on why a lot of people have those perspectives. So I just want to start off by saying it ain't no beef between us. I mean, even if we get spicy, we can't even be enemies because we connected. You know what I'm saying? And listen, it's going to be that way sometimes. And like I told you, I try to speak as directly as possible with the least amount of words. So sometimes it comes off harsh and brass more than I intended to, And I usually don't talk to folks that I don't vibe with. So the reason I said let's do this on an open forum, because I believe, I could have easily called you and say, hey, yo, listen, boom, boom, boom. And nobody benefits from that. We both got over 30 years in law enforcement and EP, right? That's 60 years of experience that we can share with the folks. So with that being said, let me get into why you was way off. So the thing I asked you was, do you know the OPSEC? Do you understand how the team, how many people were on the team? Do you understand what their positions were? Do you understand what their job was for the evening? Do you even understand how big the stage was? So when you factor all those things in, folks talking about placement, he should have been faced this way and that way. If you're back of the house, why are you looking at the back of the house? You see what I'm saying? That was back of the house. I seen your man Sparrow say something about he jumped down 10 feet. No. That was about 40, 50 feet. He was up. He slid down the rope. He climbed over the glass. So he also said it was an open ledge. It wasn't an open ledge. And another thing, as security, we don't own that building. So how it's structured up there on that level, if it's open or not. We don't own that. That's not on us. If that kid would have jumped on them electrical wires, got electrocuted, died, that would have been on the building, not on the security team. So security has nothing to do with that. They don't hang wires from, we don't hang wires from the ceiling. So when you start talking about, you know, you should have had somebody facing the back, that doesn't even make sense. And folks say that because they're trying to give you the textbook answer. And, you know, to a degree, I can appreciate it. On another aspect of it, it irks me because it says you're not really in the field and you're not really doing this. You may do some aspects of security, but you're not doing what you're critiquing. And that's where I have a problem with, because you don't understand the gravity or the weight of what you're trying to critique. So you can't say this person should have did this or this person should have did that when you've never been in a situation. That's like telling cats how to go through Fallujah. Oh, y'all shouldn't have drove past there with the IEDs. And you ain't never been here. So how can you have how can you have a logical perspective on something that you've never seen before? Now, when you said it, I thought like, okay, the critique is coming and it's not sitting well with me, because you said the guy was watching the show. There's no way you can know that. There's no way you can know that. If the cat come on tonight, if he hit me and say he's on and he want to talk, he can explain to you what the OPSEC was, which I doubt he'll go into full detail. But that was a 50-foot stage. And they got to have their guys out there because this artist stage is breached a lot. The artist tends to jump down into the crowd as well. That's the focus. That was the focus. And that's what they had to focus on. When you're back of the house is relatively secure. Now, they did have fans up top looking down. Anybody in here who tells me that they prepare for somebody to slide down 40 feet of electrical cable to rush the stage from the back, you're a liar. I'm going to just tell you to your face, you're a liar, and you don't do the job. Now, you can talk it because in the textbooks it says, oh, 360-degree security, concentric rings, and all that. You could give me all the words that you read in the book, all the things that Mel taught you. You can say all of it. But the thing that I know is in the field, it's totally different. And like I told you the other day, coming out of the police academy, what the city do? They make sure you know that book so they don't get sued. But what the OGs tell you and your training office tell you? The academy get you killed. Because when you hit the field, it's different tactics. So that was my issue. We can't sit here and say that these guys did anything wrong. The show never stopped. The artist was never interrupted. Them dudes did a fabulous job. They didn't make, you know, they didn't beat him down and stomp him in. They did none of that. They did a fabulous job in stopping the breach, getting them off stage, and not interrupting the show. That's my issue. Too many people are critiquing something that they don't know about. It's like the 30-second clips we see with the police shootings, and you don't know the whole story. Then when you find out the whole story, now everybody want to be silent. That's my issue. It's too much fratricide in this industry. We eat our own. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if you said, hey, how would you secure this and give your way of, if I was on this detail, I would try to secure it this way. I don't have a problem with that, because you're giving a critique of how you would have prepared for this. But to say what somebody failed at or what they didn't do, I think that's a bit rough. And then let's say the guy who was at the stairs saw your post. How do you think it would be received to him?
Well, you know, honestly, I don't care about that. This is a platform to talk about what I want to talk about, man. It's like a freedom of speech. And honestly, if I get caught slipping, I'm gonna tell you how I would feel. I'm like, well, shit, I fucked up. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm not going, because it was already filmed. The whole world saw it before I even put it out there. Somebody sent it, not only somebody, multiple people sent it to me. And as a professional, like I said, we got Stephen A. Smith. This guy ain't never played no sports, but he's talking about who sucks in baseball, what kind of bad plan they had, who sucks in football, Any sport that's out there, swimming, Mike, he's going to talk about anything. Nobody can come to him and say, well, you don't, you never played this. How are you to talk about it?
But look at the luxury Stephen A has.
Uh-huh.
He can watch the whole game. So he can watch the whole game and have a critique. You can't watch 10 seconds and have a whole critique of a security plan.
Okay, I'll give you that, but from experience we can talk about, and this is why I think critiques are good, and it's not critics, and I think people it becomes critical when people take it personal, right? We're trying to move, and it's not about that particular guy, that particular security guy. It's about the whole security community. Let's point out the mistakes so that we can improve for it. If I knew that, brother, I wouldn't even have posted it. I was like, hey man, what happened? Just like I called you, right? So when y'all see me and Kevin going back and forth on this post for a minute, and I said, hold up, we ain't like that. Let me just call the brother. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I would have done the same thing. If I knew that was you on the stage or somebody, I would ask, or somebody in that clique, I would know. Now the problem is the security community is so large. You see people doing stupid shit every day, so you don't know how to separate the professionals from the clowns.
I disagree with that. You can definitely tell the untrained and the guys that don't know what they're doing. You can definitely see that. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't tell from that video if that guy knew what he was doing or didn't know what he was doing, because we didn't know what his assignment was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
His assignment might have been keep your eye on this particular area of the stage, right? So now we jump on and we tell the world how bad he's doing, and guys are just trying. I mean, bro, I've been in this industry for a minute. I got a lot of friends who do a lot of tours. I know a lot of folks, and I'm 1 degree separated from a lot of folks. A lot of these dudes that's talking ain't never seen them, ain't never heard of them. So I'm from a place where how you gonna talk about something you ain't never done? How you gonna critique a cat? It's like when I watch boxing, right? And everybody, oh, he should have just did. Come on, man. You gotta be in this space to understand the nuances of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. In situations like that, you gotta understand the nuances of it. And then the part where I said you were disingenuous, which I know you took offense to, and I wasn't trying to disrespect you. What I was trying to say was, when you compare a high-ranking government official, right, and those who protect them, we don't have the same privileges and the same authority that they have. So when you say that wouldn't have happened there, of course it wouldn't have happened, because they would have wiped the whole back of the house out, and it would have kept it that way from the moment they start the advance until the event is over. We don't have that type of authority. We come into a city with a 5, 6, 7-man team. You might be lucky if you got an 8-man team, right? And you come in and then you got to secure 50 feet of stage. Now, do we know the height of the stage? Sometimes the stage is high, folks can't climb up, but then sometimes they're not. I.e. the post you put up about the J. Cole thing. You know what I'm saying? Cats can jump right up on the stage. How do you protect that? How many guys do you think you need to protect that all the way around the stage? You see what I'm saying? It's like when Dave Chappelle got attacked at the Hollywood Bowl. I hear everybody, first thing they want to rush, oh, his guy should have been looking and closer than. You never been to the Hollywood Bowl then, so you don't even understand how it's set up. The front row is closer to the artist than the wings are. So it's easy to breach something, you know what I'm saying, before security can get in place. And that's all I'm saying. If you don't understand the nuances of it, I don't think cats should be critiquing cats without all the information. Now, you can look at the situation, talk to some people that's involved in it, and then come back and say, here's my opinion on it, and that's fine. But to go out and say that cats is failing and not doing good, listen, it happened to me. You know, somebody tried to attack my client, right? I get on social media and he done got punched in the face, he done got slapped, security ain't shit, and I'm saying to myself like, damn, I was there, none of that happened. But they do whole think pieces on it, and I'm saying because you're not there.
You know, one of the things things that I see though now. So I mean, we don't know what his assignment was. However, but just going from again the way I see it, the perspective of it was no, you don't expect somebody to fucking Navy SEAL rappel down, cables and run back there. So the back of the house from the perspective, that's only one perspective that we see. Now, when I go into a venue and I'm doing concert security, and hats off to y'all because I probably would never do it again. It's not an easy job to do, and it's getting worse every day because every other day there's a video of somebody jumping on the stage doing wild stuff. And one of the problems is that you guys that do that level of work really don't have the resources that you have. And we're talking about artists that are packing out stadiums for 30, 40,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, hey, listen, I only got 4 or 5 guys. I need a couple of guys. And then they're kicking back to you talking about what the budget is. So I can't get my mind wrapped around that.
Mm-hmm.
So say that we give the brother pass, his OPSEC was his assignment was to look at a certain area of the stage. Now it's not his failure, then it's even the head of security's failure, or else the client's security failure. Because if that was his assignment, then we need to have a layered security down at the bottom of their steps at least, because he can't cover both places, right?
Okay, but let me ask you this: why are you covering the back of the house stairs?
Well,
now usually we do keep a person at the top of the stairs because you don't want people walking up. You got a lot of folks who's not trying to crash the show, but they want to get a better view, so we try to keep them off the stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, as we saw, there was no one on that stairs with him. This dude rappels down and then shoots up the steps, and immediately the dude was on him. I think that should be in training courses. His responsiveness, his recognizing that this was not somebody that was part of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still can't get around that, man. I mean, him, not him. I'm saying somebody needed to be at the bottom of the steps. When I go in to a concert like that, and there's the venue security, first thing I'm talking to, let me talk to the stage manager, the tour manager. Let me talk to if it's contract security, let me talk to those people. We're gonna have a pre-meeting, and this is what I need before my artists even go on the stage. I need somebody right here at this post at the bottom of that stairs, and that needs to be the strongest person you got. They can't be nobody, that's half-assing, half checking credentials, because like I know, you get entourages, everybody is somebody, you got to deal with that. Everybody wants to be on the stage. The stage is not even safe for the people to be on the stage. So to me, the stages, regardless of what the close protection guys or those tour guys are, what their assignment is, they still need somebody to handle the perimeter of that. And again, I get you're saying the back of the house, and the reason why we need to have somebody watching the back of the house, because we don't expect stuff like that. So we can't say it's no threat level. So no threat level requires nothing. But we can always say it's a low threat level. And if it's a low threat level, it needs to have some layer of security to prevent things like that from happening.
It also goes back to resources, right?
Yes.
How many?
Yes.
What's your, you know what I mean? How many people do you have that can cover this? But now the guy that's he wants to come on. So you should see Mike Brown. He's trying to send a request.
Okay. Is it the vagabond?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I'll let him give you the resume.
Okay.
Right? He can give you his own resume, and he is the man who will give you the OPSEC because he created it.
Okay.
What's going on, Melvin? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
I'm blessed. I can't complain, man. If I did, nobody listen.
Yeah, that's right. They just gonna add some more shit for you to complain about.
That's it.
Good to see you, brother. And,
good to see you, man. Definitely.
Definitely.
Good to see you.
Good that we can be on here as professionals, man, and no internet beef, man. Like we said earlier, we a lot of times for our culture, our people, man, we bring each other down, and that's just not necessary, right? But like I was telling Kevin, from my perspective, I'm just giving the things from my perspective. If I knew the brother, I would have called him and said XYZ, man. But from all of these things coming on, you'll know who's security. And if you're not, like Kevin said, if you're not in that arena, my arena is a little bit different than you guys. But if you're not in that arena, you don't know the guys at all. I know Kevin, I know Elijah, I know you, a couple of other guys, but the rest of the guys, I don't know.
No, for sure. Not to get into too much off. I think so. Basically, just a little bit about myself. Been in business 14 years. I worked with celebrity clients, starting off high profile individuals. Did that for many years. Started the detail for this particular client. And I was with him for 8 years. Last 3 years, I work overseas, operate in 55 countries around the world, do some SB and Code Pro protection in third world countries. So
now he's showing off.
no. So we have some backstory. So it's easy for us to look at a video, look at a case study, and say, "Oh, I basically did X, Y, Z, this and that." But we got to think about the whole picture. Being with this client for 8 years alone has taught me he literally is a case study himself. It's just no hats about it, right? So it's things that people never see happen at these shows that they never deal with, because now it happens with our show, then it becomes another case study. I think he's misclassified. He's not a rapper. He's a pop star, and it's something so energetic and so live you cannot replicate. Not a rock band, not a punk rock band, or anything. That gentleman that is the guy on the stairs is a highly trained dude. But I do give him his props, because that was the tackle principle. Like I always say, a lot of guys that work in dignitary or corporate never get tested, unfortunately. Entertainment, it's a lot of things, from robberies, from shootings, fights, they get tested. So that we can treat it as a tackle principle. Somebody breached the core, he got the guy before he got to protectee. So that's the best thing you can do. Show wasn't interrupted. And you're right, it could have been somebody there, but we're talking about resources. Is the client really going to stop his show that he needs his money to pay these bills, right? They need this money that's generating. It's all currency. So our job is to figure it out, and do the best we can to maintain. And people that's unaware, the stage is the whole length of a basketball court. Nobody has a stage like that. So there is no blueprint, no school that's going to teach how to protect this. We had to learn from each city, each thing that happened. Okay, we didn't think about this part. Okay, now, somebody coming down for the 300 level. 300 level, not this 200. It's just like Kevin Ghee said, it's not a 10-foot drop. That was a 50-plus drop. All it took was for the wires to drop. That person would not be here to talk about it. It's just honest. So when I look at it, yes, things can be better, but we just have to make sure as a community, especially being brothers in the industry, because I operate in a place where I'm the only brother there, and I understand how the optics can be.
Oh, and I'm going to get to that, because we got to talk about that as well.
We have to think about that, right? Like, you're right. You didn't know the brother. So like you said, if you knew him, you'd have reached out. That's respectful. I can understand that answer. But we got to think about, okay, let's find some people that may know the brother, and before we post it, to make sure he's not, his name is not tarnished, or people think, he's just, lazy and just paying attention to the show. Because that position he has was one of the most critical positions. Everybody else on the other side of the stage has to look outwards. He's the only person that can see the protectee, see the whole downstage and where he's at, to call out any breaches, because he's the only one that can see. He's only looking down the stage. So that position is critical. You're right. We could have somebody there. But guess what? When you're in an arena, when you're doing real arena security and real tour security and EP, problem is they say, hey, we need 60 people to show up to the Madison Square Garden. Guess what? They only get 40 people that comes and get a T-shirt. That's what we're dealing with. So is the show really going to be stopped? Is Madison Square Garden going to cancel, go find some 10 people off the street? It's not going to happen. So you got to make do. And unfortunately, that was one of those nights. Was a little short on the numbers. None that we can do. And Live Nation was on the tour themselves. They said, we got to write this down as case study. We never saw this happen before. So if all these people that do this for a living has not happened, we can't expect to cover all things. All we can do is act accordingly when the situation happens, and make sure nothing happens to the protectee. And that's just, I call it as the security was tested. And he survived the test. The person get to the protectee, nothing happened, show went on. Yes, we could say it was a security failure, but the failure would have been if something would have happened. But he stopped it from progressing. Because we can say, he hesitated, how come he didn't grab him? That's people that do not study behavior, like behavior observation. That was just a pure OODA loop that you saw. He saw the person, who is this person? Okay, orient. Let me decide. I got to go get this person.
But here's Mike, a lot of these talking don't even understand the OODA loop, and they don't understand that whole processing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what my biggest issue is, a lot of these new guys, the moment they get out of these courses, they got think pieces going up. And I'm like, where did you ever get the capacity to to write this. You haven't been, to Mike's point, you haven't been tested. You haven't been tested. You haven't been in these situations. You haven't been on a detail that you got an itinerary and it gets scrapped. And now you got to go do something totally different in places that you never even advanced.
Yes.
How do you do that? So everything that happens over here is going to be my failure because I didn't advance it. Well, what we did spend 3 days advancing, they shut it down and went someplace else. So these are the nuances that I'm talking about when cats are making these comments about what a person didn't do and what failed. The only way you could say that it was a failure is if you understood everything that went into it. Like I said, when I saw it, I was like, boy was on it. And that's what we should be teaching. Yes. Look how quickly he responded to a breach. Because if you think that you're ever going to go to a place and there's not going to be a breach, you're crazy. And the breach doesn't have to be something wow. But even in a simple banquet, somebody's going to try to get in that don't have the credentials, that's not invited. You know what I'm saying? Those are many breaches. And how you handle them is the lesson.
Totally agree. And something I actually want to add to that. What can separate that specialist that we saw and how he handled the response? When we look at entertainment protection, yes, we can say some guy's not trained, this and this. But that shows me this individual was trained, which I know he was. But what you can show is his response. Most people would have tackled, knocked the person out, jumped him. He just apprehend, remove control, and did not, elevate the force. Most people just elevate the force, and then it becomes a lawsuit. So that was a hell of a response because he acted and made it to the protectee. A lot of guys, we could say, this brother is in shape. He was able to take off and get the, you know what I'm saying, get the kid and everything, where we cannot say that. And, everybody want a Monday night quarterback, but until it's them, then they realize, oh, that can happen to me. This can happen to any of us. I don't care if we John Wick, Jason Bourne, whoever. This can happen to any of us. And that's just the honest to God truth. Some of the biggest protectors, some guys that we all look up to, stuff has happened to them. Stuff happens. You just learn, survive another day, and make sure it don't happen again. That's all you can do. You don't know what's going to happen until it literally happens. Right? So that's something I just want to kind of just get that point across, because he's right. I've said I'm not going to talk more into it, because what we were spending for just to have a show every night was most people not even doing that in a day, just to be honest. So in the end, it's the required numbers of a venue that they can give you. If you're in a small place, Oklahoma, they don't have 50 people that can show up. You're going to get grandmas and moms in the barricade. These are little factors that guys, we cannot do anything about, So I just think the lesson needs to be that we just all have to, like you said, come together, discuss it as a case study, and make sure, okay, now you got some wire hanging. You better make sure.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And if you can, have a body watch that person 6, because he's looking at a bigger picture. That's the main thing.
Yes, I think that's the main thing, if you had that layer. But it goes back to a couple of things you said was resources, right? I did a lot of concerts like you guys and stuff, man, and I had the event security crew, man. I'm pretty much, you just rolling the fucking dice and seeing what you get, And even out of the 40 that showed up, if you needed 140 showed up, probably about 15 of them are actually working anything.
Exactly.
And so you're fighting with production saying, hey, I need more money to pay these guys because I want to get better guys to actually do the job. The production doesn't want to give you the money. You guys are dealing with the artists. They don't want to give you the money to have what you need, because I can guarantee you, like, you need at least another additional 5-6 guys to really do what you need to do, and you don't have that, so you're fighting an uphill battle. Exactly. So you're right. Yeah, you're right. Looking from the backside, we, like I said, I didn't initially. I don't know all the facts. Of course.
It's fair enough that you get on here able to talk to me and Kevin. Call to Kevin. He reached out to me, knowing that my background with this particular detail, and I think that's noble. We're on discussing, and I think this is the positivity that people need to see. The African American specialists, we can come together and talk positively, and also, I hate to say this, with a solid knowledge base. We're not just talking from experience, because that's how we have to be mindful of how we view in this business tremendously.
Earlier on the call I was on earlier, we talked about that. We talked about how we're viewed in this space. So when when we do disagree on how things are going, we can't be on here talking about we're going to pull up and we're going to slap you and we're going to do that, because truthfully, if you look at what's happening, there's almost like a civil war going on within this industry, right?
Yes.
You got two groups trying to create boards and they're trying to create standards, right? The board members of these organizations don't look like none of us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Which, in my opinion, I could be wrong, they're trying to keep that element out because all they see is the big knuckle dragger, this, that, and the third,
yes.
which means that's all they want to see. Because there's so many of us in the corporate space, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us in the corporate space doing some real good things in that space, but they're not reaching out. So when we're acting like the thing that they say we are, all it does is give credence to it, and it makes it harder for all of us to excel in the overall aspects of security. So, you know, that's why I hate when I see these guys talking. You know, when I was on the call today, I told the guys, let's stop saying it, because you ain't going to pull up. You ain't going to slap nobody. You ain't going to do nothing, because you're not going to risk your freedom or your money. So let's stop talking like this is what the action is, because that's not the action. Because if it was, it would have happened already. You know what I'm saying? And I like what I like about what you're doing is you're taking these incidents and you're trying to learn from them, right? I just think, for me, what caught me on this one was the wording of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I've been there, because they told me I fell until I played the whole YouTube video for them. And I asked them to point out where the failure was, and nobody could. But I know why they couldn't, because they don't do the work. They took a course, read a book, got some friend requests, and now they you know, I'm plugged in. No, you're not. You're not plugged in until you start to do the work. You know, and in my situation, what we did was, instead of signing on the rope lines now, when we do red carpets, we create a little we got like a little pit, and we handpick 30, 40, 50 people to come in to get the signings. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to deal with that anymore. That was our fix for that situation. So every situation, as Mike said, you learn from. We go from this red carpet to this red carpet. We got to learn. Okay, what happened here? All right, we need to know. We got to start trying to control the press credentials, because that's another issue. Now, let's talk about that. Let's say you got somebody with a press credential, they get on and then try to kiss your client. Did the security fail? But how many people said, well, security fell because the dude kissed him? You see, this guy had a press credential, so he was supposed to be on this carpet. So it's just, once we understand the nuances of the business, we can start having more constructive conversations. You know what I'm saying? And then we all gotta grow up. I had to grow up, because I was about to go at a few people on this post, just because. No, seriously, just because they talking crazy, and it's like, y'all don't get it, man. Y'all don't get it. Before long, some people will only want us dealing with rappers.
You made a point of a lot of African-American men in the corporate space that don't reach back. Okay. For example, I'm in that space now, right? Been there for 3 years. Some of these comments along the day, I can see why I don't reach back.
Exactly. That's the point.
I hate to say that, right? I hate to say that, because if I'm the token one here, I can't have the next one mess it up for the next person. So
exactly.
As minorities in general, Black and brown specialists, we have to be more conscious of how we present ourselves, because everything we put on the social media, they're watching. They're tracking.
And don't call me a gatekeeper. Well, you can call me what you want, but when you understand that I'm not gatekeeping, trying to keep you out, I'm trying to preserve what we have, so you don't bring your foolishness up here with all your gunplay on the videos and stupid stuff. How many people gonna slap? That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
So I think the thing is, as us, right? Because I wasn't going to get on the live. I told Kevin, I don't even operate in that world no more in my mind, right? But I was like, let me get on there. I see they talking civil, and this, and I always wanted to connect with, like me, you connected outside before, Mel. But it's just, okay, let me go in here and just help educate. We're going to talk and maybe somebody can get some from this.
But I told you it wasn't going to be crazy.
Yeah,
I told
you did.
I said, I'm not about to engage in no foolishness
no, for sure.
in Mel Peoples. So
but
him and I can't. If me and Mel ever argue, it would never be like, y'all never know.
Totally agree. No, I agree. And it should be like that. And that's the example we have to put forward, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't see them arguing. We don't see other people in the protection space doing that. But we're constantly doing the same thing. While then, truth be honest, I was talking to somebody today on the phone. If we're honest, right? The reason why we are in entertainment, if we're honest, most people that look like us, that have money, is in that space. They're the athlete that just got signed. They're the actor that just got on Black Panther. They're the artist that just got a record deal. So that gives us more of a pipeline to get into the protection space. But but the problem is we have to make sure we control the narrative of ourselves in that protection space.
Yes.
That's the truthfully matter.
Yes.
You know, the truth of the matter is that we have to be mindful that we're bringing the same professionalism. If I was with a Mark Zuckerberg to a Travis Scott, to Patrick Mahomes, it should be the same type of professional level. And I kind of think that we need to stop separating the nuances. Protection is protection. At the end of the day, if we're truly honest, the other thing is just small nuances that you favor when you're in a certain sector. And I think that's what we got to start thinking about, because unfortunately, guys, oh man, like I only do celebrity protection. No, you do protection.
Right.
The clientele and maybe just be celebrity.
Exactly.
You know, so that's the mindset. So when I worked for Trav for those many years, I try to give a corporate mindset. He has a corporate team. He has a full-fledged corporate type style program that's done at Amazon, Facebook, all these places. He has that in place because I try to get that mindset. It's not, so that's something that I try to get to guys is, like we're talking about this case study, how many guys in security teams are documenting? So take these videos and document and make sure. Something I try to implement now, every time an incident happens, we actually have documentation I can go through. Okay, last time we went to the Grammys. Okay, oh, that happened. Okay, they didn't have a parking pass for this. So let me make sure this don't happen this year. We have to document these things so we can keep improving and never happen again. Best believe this is gonna be documented. There's somebody on that security team.
Absolutely.
Somebody make sure them wires.
Absolutely.
And everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you
know, get me again.
And another thing, Mel, you gotta recognize. I don't think you recognize how loud your voice is. You got to recognize that now. You got a responsibility now. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can't have the cigar over a drink talk live anymore. Because as we can see, your voice touches a lot of people. You're getting how many views on these things, right? You're getting thousands and thousands of views. So your voice is reaching. Now comes that responsibility of how do I say what I need to say without damaging somebody else,
or just us,
or just us.
Just say that.
Respect,
because
I've heard,
to be honest,
I've heard these guys. I'm on details, and I'm the only one, in some of these spaces, and
you understand
they're talking about people who is my family, right? And I'm gonna tell you something that happened. Dude was telling me, "Oh yeah, I heard this, that, and the thing." I said, "Really?" Phone rang. I got my phone connected to the car. That name pop up. I was like, "You want me to answer? You can ask him yourself." Oh no, come on, don't do that, don't do that. See what I'm saying? But they have this idea in their head that this is all we do and this is all it's about. Right?
I totally agree.
Yeah,
and
trying to say something like, "Well, not you, Kev. Nah, we ain't doing that talk." Because if you're gonna say that about them, I'm included too, because this is how you talk when I'm not around. But I can't be mad when we get guys with videos in Vegas shooting their guns in the street or punching little guys just for talking. You know what I'm saying? We all know who that was.
Yeah.
I don't have to say his name. We all know who that was. He's a disgrace to the industry.
Yep.
But a lot of those guys are the people that people defend. They defend those guys.
Totally agree, man.
Totally can't say anything about anybody. So crazy.
Well, they defend them because, again, they don't understand, one, the bigger picture, or the security industry itself. They don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Let's take the Pop Smoke situation in the PNB Rock. You know how many times I heard, well, if they had security, they would have did this. No, you probably would have got shot too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because of how these situations happen. You would have got shot So let's stop acting like because we took a course, we bulletproof now, we got all the right answers. It's
Yes.
This game is bigger than what we talking about. You know what I mean?
Something that I always try to teach older specialists, new specialists, obviously last 3 years I focused on this. If we talk about surveillance detection alone is one of the most proactive skills we can have. How many guys really even got trained in it? Let's be honest with that. Not a lot. A lot of these experts like Joe or Ivory, they have to cancel these courses because they're not sexy, not spinning wheels, shooting guns, hitting somebody in the mouth. They cannot sell them out. So they have to counsel them. But that's actually, honestly, the only way we can do protection. Here's a statistic that clients will hate to really hear the facts. And known threats or known assassination attempts, when they had 2 trained individuals that were armed, and the protectee knew this, the assassination attempt was 68% successful overseas. 68%. So really, we need to start telling clients that we're going to protect them 23% of the time. but we're never going to tell the truth about none of this, right? Because the only true protection is to see it before it happens, and to see those things. Like Kevin said, we controlling the press. Like a red carpet, we're controlling everything about this process. We're vetting everything because we can't leave it to the civilian to vet because they don't know the nuances of the things that we're looking for. A lot of guys learn to study behavior observation. They don't see the guy looking and lurking, paying attention. I need to lock in on this guy. Get between me and the protectee. This person is going to do something. He's already picking. He must have got a weapon. These are things that guys need to really focus on learning when we're talking about critiquing the next person. And like you said, the problem that we have to face as minority protectors is stop co-signing foolery. Just like Kevin, just like you said, he's just probably hitting somebody in the mouth. Yeah, man, I would do the same thing. But you're co-signing foolery. And the truth of the matter, when I'm in those circles as the only African-American person there, and everybody's ex-special forces, military, he was this, he was that. And I'm like Michael from EP from the private sector. I had to, when I hear them talk about entertainment protection alone, but really us, they're not lying half the time.
No, they're not. They're not.
I hate to say that. We're feeding them what we think, how we act. So we have to, together as us, as people that's in those spaces, try to reach back and try to change their mindset. Yeah. That's the only way you can do is change the people's mindset around you. Yeah. That's something I've been doing myself. So this year I said, man, the people around me, I want to help change their mindset. I've challenged everybody around me. Hey, man, if you ain't got a licensed company in your state, don't talk about security. If you ain't legit, because all these guys moving, something I realized when I got to the team, it was that all these guys, this guy live in Idaho, this guy lives in Florida, they all had a little small license. They all had the agency license in their state. They all moved, even though we don't need it what we do per se. But I was like, okay, they moved professionally from day one. That's something I'm trying to feed everybody around me. If you can't get your license, then maybe you can't be in this business. You gotta think about that, to be truthfully honest. So be legit. So then when you're talking, you are aligned correctly to speak professionally. That's why that's the problem even with the standard in security. There can't be a standard because there's too many, it's too night and day. This guy licensed and insured, he trying to charge $1,000. This one, he just worked with some celebrity, this and that, he trying to charge $1,000. He ain't got license, insurance, workman comp. He don't have nothing. The prices can't even line up the same. So it's something we all have to do our part to make sure we help the people around us and they help the next person around them to raise the standard. We're minority protectors. That's my personal goal for this year, is try to help elevate everybody, get them knowledge, books to read, course to go to, and encourage them to be licensed and insured in their state to be legit. That's my goal, because everybody else that don't look like us, they are doing that already.
Yeah. Then I gotta send you my number offline, because I created an association called Six, and I'll tell you guys about it. And one of the reasons that I created the association is to kind of get some standards for ourselves, because I'm looking from the outside in. You're right. We look like a sideshow. We look like a clown show, and we're all pitted against each other. And then just like you said, because somebody went to a course, there's really no standard course. Somebody teaches this, I teach that, somebody teaches that. So you get 5 groups and you don't know what the hell you're going to get if some stuff hit the fan, right?
Exactly. That's just the truth.
So, man, let's talk offline, because I think you got some you definitely have some wisdom, experience, knowledge that we can have some synergy and bring some things together to, kind of achieve the objectives that we want. But my goal is to move the industry forward, man. And so I said, I created my own association. I had somebody reach out to me and ask me, I want to help write the standards for this new thing. They're trying, basically what y'all say, they're trying, let's write the standards, and this is what it is. And if the person ain't this, you can't call yourself an executive protection, and we're going to blackball you out of the, what they saying is that we do not want black people in our, but we want you to stay over there with the rappers. We want y'all to, you know, have to deal with all of that stuff, but we don't want you guys to actually succeed in the corporate world. And I'm like you guys. A lot of times I'm walking into meetings, I'm going into places, and I'm the only black guy in there. There's 30, 40 black people in there. Other races in there, and they looking at me. You know, I might be casually late on purpose, but they're looking at me and they're judging me from the time that I walk in the room until when you have to stand up and then give your credentials. And by the time I finish running down my credentials, by the next break, everybody is standing at my feet trying to get a business card. You know, how can they get my number and talk to me offline? Because that's what it is, but we're not expected. We are supposed to get the rappers, we're supposed to get all of that stuff.
Totally.
The people who are dealing, the Gavin, the Beckers, and all of these people, and the Christian Weston, they're getting all of the accolades, but we're totally capable of doing this job. And as Kevin said, I just want to talk about that because there is a protection board, and everybody runs out and goes to their conference and they're going to it, but they really don't really want you there. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. I think that's a fight we're always going to face, right?
How do you look at their board and there's 30 people on the board, and not one of them is black?
Totally. But I mean, that's the problem with law enforcement, military,
or Hispanic.
You know, driven organizations. It's still the same ghetto boy network, right? If we're just truthfully honest, right? But the thing is, what are we doing? We can say that they're keeping us out, but what are we doing to position ourselves to let them let us in?
Exactly.
You know, I think that's what we need to do. Stop focus on what they're not letting us do, and make sure we already the standard, so they can't be denied.
Exactly.
You know, when you got everything, they can't deny you, and that's the problem. We're not standing on business what we need to be doing and move like professionals. We're over here arguing with each other. We on live calling each other that word. So that lowers and literally demotes us down some more.
Yes.
So we can't say we don't want them to do it, but we're doing it to each other.
Yes.
So once we hold ourselves accountable, then that door will be open. That's why I truly believe. And I think the guys that's in those doors is, you know, us three gentlemen are in those worlds and in those places. We see, like you said, there's very few of us. And honestly, we're truthfully honest with ourselves. We know why. We know why. There's not a lot of guys I can reach back and go bring to what I do. It's not because they may not have the skill set. It may be a personality fit. It may be this person, he's not moving, you know, accordingly. Oh, he posted this. I can't use him for that. People don't realize the power of the social media thing. Every corporation, government organization is watching. They're watching us right now. It's what we say, how we move, how, you know, our demeanor. Guys have to understand the power of this. You got guys that, you know, they put on a suit one minute, talk EP, the next minute talk about game banging. It don't go hand in hand. It doesn't go hand in hand.
Right.
You know, we have to be the standard always, and just encourage each other to just you know, call each other out behind closed doors. Hey man, I know you're moving, you know, illegally. We got to get professional.
Yes.
Go get your license. Go do nothing's holding you back. You got the money.
Yes.
Go do
it. Yes. Go get trained. Go get some licenses. Be real, man, and get in the right circles with the right people. Because ultimately, nobody wants anybody to tell people. I'm like Kevin. I'm really blunt in what I say. You know, if you ain't right, I'm gonna tell you ain't right. And everybody that comes to a class, we get some 20-some people in the class. Maybe 2 people gonna make it. I'm gonna be honest. And out of that 2 people, maybe 1 gonna make it long term. You know what I mean?
I respect that. I totally respect that. Kevin,
now, listen, how I feel with the training piece, it should not be a participation thing. It should be a pass-fail. Now, it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that when you paying $2,000-$3,000 and somebody gonna fail you. But truly, it's a pass-fail because you got to show proficiency in everything you do, except EP. All you got to do is show up to the course. You come out the class, you get the certificate, and that's with everybody. That ain't just with us. That's with everybody. That's everything. You get these guys out here running around with the think pieces and talking like they actually do the job, and it's just not that way.
Totally agree. I recently took a Cove Pro class with Ivor, and I actually recommend if you want to take your training next level, you should definitely train with Ivor. But one thing I love was some people in that course got participation on their certificate.
Mm.
And that was the first time he literally printed a participation in a pass certificate. Then when he looked through his notes and talking with that instructor, wrong certificate. You got this one.
Right.
And you're gonna take a picture with you still, make you feel good.
Right.
But that certificate you're gonna say participated.
Yeah.
That's all you did.
Yeah. This is a problem too. You got a lot of guys come from military and law enforcement and think today I'm a EP guy, I'm a close protection guy. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Hopefully. We can get benefit of the doubt.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood. Who is he saying is not credible?
Yeah, he said you're reading wrong, my guy. He said you're reading wrong. But
okay. All right. If I'm reading wrong, I'm reading wrong. Let's get back to the positivity. I'm sorry. It's crept out of me a little bit.
No, but Melvin, that's a great point. That's a great point, right? I actually wrote an article in the Circuit magazine titled Closing the Gap Between Celebrity and Corporate Protection. And you're right. A lot of cops, military guys, Green Beret, I can protect anybody in the world. But being in a platoon versus being the only dude, you have to figure it out quickly. You don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And even I've seen this too in the corporate world. You get directed security, Secret Service, sir. I was former Secret Service. Oh, we go out to drink coffee. Hey, you was in Secret Service. Yeah, I was just in the uniform division. Oh, so you did PPD. Got it. But that title, HR people just say, oh, he was in the Secret Service. He must protect the president.
Right.
And even you get the guys that were on PPD, they was in the stairwell for 20 years watching the stairwell. And nobody never came down. So that's the problem. And then you cannot, like Kevin was saying before, in this type of world of civilian protecting the civilian, I can't stop traffic. I can't stop everybody from being here. I can't warn everybody down, pat people down. So I'm a civilian protecting another civilian. Simple as that. In the reality-based place. A lot of guys in those spaces I've seen crash and burn in the private sector because it's no order. Stuff is off schedule. They can't handle fast-paced movements. And stuff I've seen for myself is that doesn't mean anything. You have to specifically get trained. Yeah. Now, my friend Ray, who's with Detroit PD, he's somebody I said exception. He's been running the mayor's.
Yeah.
Ray, right? He gonna run it correctly because that's what he does in the PD. He literally does that. He's the head of it. So that's somebody I can hire him off the street. Ray, you got it. But that's very few in between because, as you know, most cops, you was the captain. Most cops, they just changing tires, stopping traffic, kissing babies, climbing trees.
As a cop, I was active.
How you doing, sir?
What happened was me to get in and learn that I didn't know what EP was. Just because I was a police officer didn't mean that, I was going to be a great EP professional. So I had to go get training. I had to go get the training because the skill sets are different.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling?
What's up, Ben?
I'm pretty good. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
There was a lot of conversation about corporate and celebrity and the opportunities that exist there.
Come on.
And I moved from most of my career, corporate, oil and gas, corporate execs, then going to celebrity, and was able to move into corporate America and do EP and run a program. I had the opportunity to hire folks in celebrity protection, but the conversations that I had to have internally to just get them on board, right? No, this guy actually has a military background. He's, a Marine. Like, I had to explain all that. The experience didn't matter of how he'd moved in the touring world for years and can adapt to what we throw at him. I had to have the same conversation again when I want to hire somebody else in the celebrity world. Then a third time when I hire Mike. Like, this is not a game. Like, we really do play into their hands when we say some of that foolishness online. So a lot of what you guys were saying is right on board with what I believe of, like, hey, listen, don't make it more difficult to get folks into corporate America from the celebrity world. Because at the end of the day, you want to say, hey, I am a protector. I do executive protection. Don't pigeonhole me in a box because there's no box big enough for me.
Totally agree. And something that I learned, honestly, from being in the corporate space for 3 years now is that we have a unique skill set coming from celebrity, honestly. We bring it because we're used to control chaos. So when the executive is right on time, coming out of a meeting, it's just clockwork for us because we're used to being out all night. Perfect example. I went to augmented detail. The corporate guy said, "Hey, Mike, this will be a late night." I said, "Okay, yeah, man. You know, what's a late night? 10 o'clock, man. It's gonna be a late night." I'm like, 10 o'clock, man. I'm used to 8, 6 in the morning. You know, so so that shows the level. And even Christian West was quoted that the best corporate guys come from the celebrity sector because you get a wide range of skill set. A lot of corporate guys haven't been to FBOs, if we're honest.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't dealt with paparazzi. They haven't dealt with any of these things. And something that I actually got from being and learned from what I do now is that a lot of these corporate executives are coming celebrities themselves. Mm-hmm. So you need somebody that's a hybrid that understands high profile protection and also corporate protection, because you have people running up trying to get autographs. You have the staff members chasing these people down at headquarters. So you need somebody that knows how to do both: go overt, covert, fall back, and just let the detail breathe. That's my favorite saying.
This is not a knock to those that haven't done celebrity protection, because they really do have a great skill set as well. I'm just saying that you take people who haven't done celebrity protection and people that have done celebrity protection and put them together, and you've got a well-run team.
I agree.
What happens is they start to want one thing. You don't have the 3 letters after your name or agency that you work for. But when you do that, you tend to get a groupthink mentality, right? And I always tell my team, because we're always trying to build a better program. And so I want the best team best program we can build, not the best program I can think of. Because I need your feedback. I need your experience, right? Like I've had to sit down in corporate America and actually write a policy on how to deal with paparazzi because they didn't know. I've had connections that other people didn't have because we've traveled the world multiple times, right? And so that just benefits corporate.
What's up, everybody? We're going to come back for a few more minutes. I don't know what was going on. Kevin Ghee, his screen froze, and then when he timed out, it kicked us out. So I'm going to, when those guys come back on, I'll invite them back on, and we'll finish the conversation. I hope you guys are getting something out of this. And one of the most important things, we learned some lessons about just how things are protected in the concert base, in a concert environment, and also how things are different between working in concert environment, celebrity environment versus corporate environment. And then also one of the most important things is how we're perceived about the way that we conduct ourselves online. And I always tell people, I have a LinkedIn account, and I encourage, if you're in the security field, to get a LinkedIn account. Most people, when they hit me up, they'll say, "Hey, you're hiring," or anything like that. First thing, they don't introduce themselves, and first and foremost, but the only thing they say is, "Are you hiring?" More importantly, I ask them, "Okay, do you have a LinkedIn account?" Because I want to see your body of work. Your LinkedIn is your running resume of who you are, and it lets the person that you're contacting know how serious you are about the profession. Now, when some of the biggest contracts I have, Spotify, Google, FedEx, those corporations found me online, and they found me on LinkedIn. And so they go on LinkedIn and look at your credentials and see who your background and experience is. And here's the kicker, what you guys don't know, because a lot of you guys post some crazy stuff on the internet, cursing, drugs, guns, liquor, your family. It'd be so much nonsense. But what people do, they look on corporations and professionals, they look on LinkedIn to see who you are, and then they go to Instagram and Facebook to see who you really are, because that's where you really show off, and they can really identify. So they looked on LinkedIn to hire you. They look on social media such as Facebook, TikTok, and all of that to discredit you. So I'm asking you and telling you, advising you as an OG, as they say in the game, that y'all need to tighten up your Instagram and your social media profiles. You need to remove a lot of stuff. You need to remove a lot of the curse words and songs and things that you're posting on your Instagram, because it's really watering down your potential possibilities to get employment in this profession. And let me try to bring my brothers back on. Yeah, we got to do some offline things to bond really together. And there's so much potential and experience, man, that we really have to offer people outside of these lives, and we can put it in a structured environment where people can really get it, and we can drive it home to make the industry better.
Yes, indeed.
Ben.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Perfect.
Appreciate that.
All right. And you
know
remember
what
where you dropped off at?
No. Listen, long story short, what I'm saying is don't allow the doors to be closed on yourself before you even get to it.
That's it.
Right? Like be open and be ready for the opportunity. Right? Because there's folks that's got your back, that's asking for the door to be open. Right?
Okay, so Ben, let me ask you this.
Yes,
As a person that's hiring, right?
Well,
I'm a young.
I have hired.
Well, I'm just saying. You've been in.
I don't have no jobs
No,
right now.
you've been in that space and you've been in that
Yes,
position.
sir.
I'm a young guy, just got out of a course, whatever course that might be. What is it that I need to get into the corporate realm? Do I need those CPPs, PPO, whatever, all these little initials after my name? Do I need those to function in the corporate world? And how do I enter that world?
Yeah, do you need them to function? No. I'm just going to be honest. When you look at any certification, it's basically you were able to memorize something for a test.
Right.
At the end of the day, right? You're going to do what everybody else do. If they're looking for something specific, like how many lumens does it need? Does this light need or whatever? You're going to go look it up like the rest of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it is needed to enter because of how the gatekeepers have set things up, right? So when you look at that, a lot of times these job descriptions come out, they weren't necessarily written by the security professional. Security professional probably said, hey, I need these few things. HR goes and looks and sees other things and throws them in there and say, oh, we need this certification, we need that certification, and that's the minimum we're looking for. So it's not necessarily the security department that is saying that. Mm-hmm. And then they start going to look at resumes. HR doesn't always know what they're looking for when it comes to security. So when you say, as a young professional, here's what you need. Here's a couple of things I can say you need. Experience and network.
Mm-hmm.
Do not discount how strong that network can be for you, right? Because I can tell you, everybody that I hired, I knew in some way, shape, or form. Right? Like, in some way, shape, or form, I knew them, or a member of my team knew them, and they were getting resumes in, and we were saying, cool, let's vet them, let's put them against this. Because I'm the type of guy, you got to stand on your own too, right? I'll get you in the door for the resume to be looked at and everything, but you don't come in there and you can't put a sentence together. Like, also, if I know you well enough, sometimes I may tell you you're not ready for this position, right? And people don't want to hear that no, but I'll tell you, one of the best friends I have told me no to a job years ago when he was a security manager at an EP program in Houston at an oil and gas company. He said, I can't hire you for this position because you're more qualified for my position. He said, but I had to call you in here to see who was behind this resume, and we are friends to this day. That was 2013. So be understanding of people that are telling you the truth. Everybody ain't a hater.
Right.
There is some truth being told. So understand your network, get people that'll tell you the truth, get people that'll help you get to that level. Okay, fine. I don't have what it takes. What am I missing?
Totally.
Where can I find that? Right? Those are the people who you need to keep around. Don't just go away because you only want to be in an echo chamber and just hear what people have to say that aligns with what you want them to say. Yeah. So the networking experience, and I know that's the hard part, right? It's like, yeah, but I just got out. I don't have experience. How am I supposed to get it if nobody wants to hire me?
But again, it's networking. It's to your point. It's networking. And folks gotta understand this. Network laterally. Don't network up. Network laterally, because those are the guys that's going to be running programs, and the guys that's already up here, you ain't really going to get to them. They busy, and they already got it. They already got a few mentees that they're looking out for. So network laterally, you start meeting folks as they rise, you rise, or as you rise, they rise.
Well,
I got two things for you. One is a story, one is about networking. Man, treat everybody the same.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say, oh, this guy can help me get somewhere. Let me treat him better than this guy that's standing next to me. Well, this guy standing next to you ain't always going to be standing next to you. Right? And he may end up in another position. Like, you know what? I worked with this guy. He's solid. Hey, come work on this detail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly how it happens a lot is people are like, I worked with that guy. I'll work with him again. They end up in a position to be able to hire folks on the detail.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Totally agree.
So be mindful of how you treat people. Nobody's beneath you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how
Mm-hmm.
high you go, how low you think you go. Nobody is beneath you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That goes back to what I was saying about when these folks start making these posts and these comments. They're speaking from an elevated stature, and they're putting down folks without understanding the nuances of whatever detail they're trying to critique. So if we can start to take some of that out of it and have discussions like this, where we say, okay, this is how it went, this is how it should be, or this is something we should start to look out for, it's helping everybody. Because now somebody that's listening to this live here, they'll get put on a detail, and as they're doing the advance, they'll say, well, what about this here?
Exactly.
But you know what I will say to that too? Those people are also telling you who they are.
Well,
that part.
That's true.
Right?
That part.
And so
That's
it's
true.
like, you know what? I don't need to associate myself with them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So they're telling you who they are. Listen, on both sides of the coin, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's telling you I'm a stand-up dude by their actions and everything. Listen.
Yep.
Somebody's telling you like, hey, I'm judgmental. Can't nobody do it better than me? Maybe you're not the guy I want to work with.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
But I will say this as an example of networking. I had a company years ago. I was working with the oil and gas exec. I was coming back from Vegas. I'm on a plane. I'm sitting next to this young lady. She starts talking to me, starts talking about what she does. And she worked with George Lopez. And he was doing stuff for the Obama campaign. This was 2007, 2008. We get off the plane. Cool. Great. Maybe 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the Obama campaign. George Lopez is going to South Texas to do some campaigning for the Obama campaign. He needs security. They want to hire me. I said, cool, I'll do it. This is all based on a conversation I had on the airplane. I do it.
Agree.
I then tell them I enjoyed doing it and I was not charging them for it that one time. They then called me for the rest of the celebrities in 2008 and then again in 2012. Sometimes you can't chase every single bag. It's okay to say, you know what? I can give up this day's worth of work here to get 30, 40 days worth of work down the line. Right? So be willing to understand what the opportunity is. And I'm not telling anybody to go work for free. I'm saying find what the opportunity is for you and what's right for you. And you'll know it when you see it because it'll feel right.
Love that. Yeah, man. I did a lot of volunteer work, man. When I got in, and I still do it. I still do it now because I'm not trying to just get on base. I'm trying to get the bases loaded and get all of us home, you know. And so that's real sacrifice. A lot of people don't. They don't make, you know, and they want to come in. They want to make top dollar and get the best clients. The people always ask me, how do you get the kind of clients you get? I'm like, you got to start at the bottom.
Yeah, you have to.
With a lot of them, yeah.
Sometimes it's going to work for somebody else and understanding that you need to learn a lot.
Totally agree.
You know, at the trainings, I used to tell these guys, I said, be the background singer first. You don't want to be the lead singer because they hear your notes, and every note you off, they're going to judge you by. Be the background singer, flow with the group. And then when you get your chance to shine, you've seen all the mistakes that have been made, and you know how to, walk to that minefield. But
that's funny. I used to tell folks I love the shadows.
Yeah.
Because people always want to be next to the client. And I'm like, I love the shadows. I'd rather do the advance work. Get it done, get you.
Let me tell you something
now.
I take the advance on any detail. Give me the advance. I don't, because standing next, I did that. I stood next to probably one of the most famous people for 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want to do that no more. I mean, yes, I do. But it got to be with the right person. It got to be with the right person.
Totally.
But, right. Yeah. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be real. I do, but you know, now I rather have the advanced work. One, because I'm good at it. Two, it makes the BG shine because they're moving in and out, and that's keeping everybody happy. I hate to be the BG, and I got somebody that's not really keen on the advanced stuff, and I'm in there, and now I got to try to figure this shit out. It's like I need you to have all the answers. So
the advance makes or breaks that detail.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because
Don't
when
make
I
me
come
do
in,
people's job.
the
I
first
want to follow you.
right, and the first thing they ask me is, "Where is whatever?" or where am I going? And if you don't know how to get there, and I gotta say, let me find out, because I never say I don't know. I say, let me find that out. Now he looking at me like, what's going on?
Why do I have you? Why are you here? Why do I have these other guys I'm paying for? Like, at that point, they become hyper aware of everybody they paying for.
Everybody,
right?
Every dime. If somebody is standing too long in one spot, what is his assignment? Why is he standing?
Exactly. Who is this guy?
So, you know, these are the conversations that I think that, you know, a lot of folks can get a lot of jewels from and be able to craft how they view the industry and how they move in it moving forward. It's not about the John Wicks of the world, because how many of you guys bust your gun as an EP professional?
How many of us carry a gun as EP professional?
How many? And look, and then how many of you carried a gun overseas? Come on, man. Let's really talk about that, right? Like the way some of these clients move, you can't even check a bag to be able to carry a firearm within the U.S.
Listen, and also it's to that point now, clear. Global entry and TSA pre-check. Because if you ain't got those and your client hit that gate and he going through and you stand in this line, I gotta take your belt off.
Man,
hey bro, you're not,
he gonna leave you.
He gonna leave you.
Yeah,
Right
you're not ready.
Pay $100 and get global entry.
Get everything.
Come with TSA pre-check. And then if you can't get an appointment for months out, supposedly you may go out the country, go to Mexico or something, come back in the country, do your interview right there.
Yeah,
boom,
I was about to say, just show up to the airport. They'll do your interview.
Exactly. Something I actually want to touch on, Kevin, and the kind of what you and Ben was talking about, where you're asking about how do you basically be more ready to take a corporate gig. Something I can testify from when the door was open, I was qualified to walk through the door. That's the key, right? A lot of guys hollering that, oh man, you never reach out, you never call me, you never do this. But then when I ask for your resume, you don't, one, have a resume. Two, you only went to one EP school that I don't even know about. I never heard of this place. You know, Red Carpet Solutions. Dude, who is that? You know what I'm saying? But you want me to put you in front of people. So that's something that I you know, from being the boss to being just a team member, that was humbling. Because I shut my mouth to learn because I wanted to move up.
And Mike, I can speak to you specifically just on the other side of it. Mike's resume got thrown in with everybody else.
Literally.
But it stacked up against everybody else's. It stood out. Then came the interview process. He stood out. And I purposely stayed out of the process to make sure that I wasn't interfering with him. To let him stand on his own.
Right.
You see where he is, right? So that's the other part of it too is, hey, have your stuff together so that you are ready to take advantage of that opportunity.
Exactly. And that's half the problem, right? They ain't playing, you know, gatekeepers ain't letting us in. You're not letting yourself in. That's the main point. That's the main point. Literally, everything that the job description had, I had it down to the T. Even the most thing that doesn't make sense, because I don't live in California, you have a guard card. I just happen to have that. So there's no way you can deny me to get through the door.
Right.
So these are the things that people need to take note of and be ready when opportunity comes. They just focus on worrying about the next. Just be ready for when the door opens, you can run through it and stay there. Because now we're going on year 3. So that's the thing too, of being staying somewhere, not just showing up and leaving.
I'm gonna jump off so you can bring was it Black Shark was the brother that was on? Okay, I'm gonna jump off so you can bring that brother on because I want to hear what he has to say. I appreciate you gentlemen having this conversation very professionally and talking to folks and that they actually hear what needs to be said, right? Like imparting knowledge on the audience.
Totally.
Man, we love you, man.
And that was something important that me and Mel talked about. Like we can't be on here on some divisiveness. You know what I mean? If we're gonna do it, like he said, he told me straight up, if it ain't gonna be productive, I'm like, come on, it's gonna be productive. unless I want me to agree with you the whole time, it ain't gonna be productive. But no, it's definitely gonna be productive.
Totally.
Yeah, I appreciate you,
Hey,
John.
thank you,
I
bro.
don't even know
bro.
how. This is the first time
Appreciate
I've
you, man.
been on this, so I don't know how to like log
I
off.
guess
I guess you got
Just
I'll get you off. Thanks.
press lit.
No, all right, Ben. Thanks for coming on. Y'all follow Ben Coleman if he wants y'all to follow him. Ben Coleman. All right.
All right, y'all.
I'm gonna bring Black Shark in. We'll talk to him real quick and see what he has
All
to
right.
say. And then I'm gonna tap out after he's done, and then we'll talk offline, Mike. I don't think you have my personal contact information.
For sure, we'll
but
send.
sure you do.
Definitely.
Okay, brother. All right, let me get Black Shark in.
Yeah, you know, I can tell you this. Mike is battle tested. I remember I was on a detail, and this client came in, and it was just him and this client.
Early
And
days.
I was like, "You good?" He's like, "I'm good." Right? And I was like, "Oh shit!" 5 minutes later, he on the floor. This dude in the middle of the crowd. Wow. And I was like, "Mike, I don't know how you do it, brother." That was, he was in the middle of 20,000 people. Just Mike.
Yep.
Moving them through
the crowd.
But now not moving to get to a spot. He want to get here. He want to dance with everybody. And I was like, Jesus. You think you know until you don't.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So
What happened, though?
Black Shark wasn't able to.
Okay.
It wouldn't let him in. I'm gonna try this last person who wanted to come on.
Tell Black Shark to get out the chat and come back in.
Shark, get out. I know you heard that. Shit, I'm just.
Yeah.
Okay. We got that.
Look, what up? What up?
What's up, young boy?
What's good with you, man?
You, man. I'm working on your video, man. I'm doing a video of him because he was getting down, man. Took some people up off the stage.
Man, and listen, I thought this was gonna be a light tour. Didn't turn out that way. These young kids, they going crazy, man. They going crazy, man. Hey, man, listen. I haven't seen a great live like this since I've been on Instagram.
Man,
I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna tell you how
That's
good this live is. I turned this motherfucker on in front of the client. He said, "X, what you got going on?" Hey, man, listen, some security shit going on. I need to be a part of this. I can't miss this.
Respect. No, respect.
I cannot miss this. But it's crazy y'all are having this chat because me and Mike talked about some things in Brazil while we were handling some business. We finally got a chance to, sit down and have a conversation.
Yep.
And opportunity knocks, but you have to be at home to answer the door.
Yep.
You gotta be at home to answer the door.
Yes,
I did some self-reflecting last year, and I said, "Man, listen, 2024 it's gonna be the Kobe year. We're gonna start pushing this thing forward because I see a lot of guys tapping in and asking questions, and I realize the guys who have the answers aren't answering. They're not answering.
You said that.
And if we're not, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm one of them guys, but I do know some things. I've been around a couple times,
For sure,
and it's good to see Kevin on here because I be stalking Kevin's page. So let me tell the young guys what you do. You find a brother who's really doing something, and you don't bother them. You watch them. I remember the first thing I heard Kevin say, "Hey man, I don't wear black," and I said to myself, "Well, shit, I do because I look slim and black. I'm gonna keep it up." But one thing I did do was I went to Casual Male X and I bought about 5-6 shirts that look just like Kevin's shit. I said just in case I need to have it in the bag. And I put my hand right to God. I had one of my corporate clients. He says, "X, we're going to Vegas for a retreat, but I need you to do me a favor." I said, "What?" He says, "I need you to look like us." I said, "Oh, I gotta put on my Kevin McGee fit. I got it. I got it." Bro, I never had a conversation with him about it. I heard what he said. I watch how he moved. I see his gear. I see how everybody's wearing, and I waited for that knock. And when it came, I was ready to answer. You
was home ready to answer.
You gotta have your artillery, brother. So it's just like, I know guys are looking up like, "Oh, I want to be like this guy, I want to be like that guy." If that's the case, then you gotta study, not just yourself, but that person, how they're moving, how they carry themselves. If you see somebody out in the field that you respect, watch him. Just watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how he moves backstage, how he's carrying in the room. I've never met Melvin a day in my life, but I've been watching him for 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I know when he's in Miami shaking and moving. You in my city, baby. I know when you're here. You know what I'm saying? I know where you get the trucks from. I know where you was looking at the office at, baby. I know everything.
Hey, listen, you know he in your town because there ain't no damn SUVs available.
Exactly. And I'm watching. I know what balcony he on, what hotel, what air. Listen, I'm watching, and I respect it because he's trying to push forward. So I'm just so happy to see everybody having this conversation. I ain't gonna lie, Melvin, you had me worried. You did some WWE promo yesterday.
I know. We said.
I was a little nervous.
Listen, hold on. Now, let's be clear. Hold on. Let's be clear. On the phone call, he said, "Yo, I'm gonna spice it up." I was like, "Go ahead, let's do it." You know what I'm saying?
I was like. He's like 7 and 9. Tune in. I was like, shit. I might just. I mean, we ain't got to be on stage till 9:30. I think I can pull this one out.
Yes, indeed.
I promise. I was nervous, so when I tuned in, I was like, I don't know what's about to happen. But then, just what I know Kevin's a Philly guy. You know, I gotta love, man. My relationship with the dudes from Philly, D-line security, all them guys. I know how y'all get that.
Yeah, move away.
Yeah. So I was just like, I wonder how this. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I know Melvin's story from being in D.C., which was the youngest sergeant or something like that.
Captain. Sergeant Lieutenant and Captain.
Yeah, see, I told you I do my research, baby. I watch everybody.
Yeah.
I'm stalking y'all because I want to be great. And if you're trying to be great, and I'm talking to anybody who's tuning in, if you're trying to be great, you're serious about this craft, humble yourself and learn. And understand every day is a new opportunity to change the page and read another chapter.
To that point, I'm gonna tell you something. Mark James told me when I was getting back into this thing. Because see, I started when I was a cop, and I was reckless. I was throwing folks off the stage. I was daring folks to do. I was crazy.
You thought he had the badge?
Yeah, because I had the badge. Right. So I get the training and all, and I'm coming through. So now I'm trying to be. I'm robotic. I got the black suit on. I'm standing. So Mark James said to me, he's like, relax a little bit. So I think it's a test. I think he trying to see if I'm a slack. I'm like, nope, I got even stiffer. He's like, have a seat. And I was like, I can't sit down on the detail. He's like, you know the profile. You're bringing attention to the person that you don't want the attention to go to. Know your profile. Now, let me tell you what that did for me. Now, because I'm 6'6" and I'm a big dude, right? So I bring attention when I walk in the room anyway. But I've moved with some very noticeable people, and just because I lowered my profile, I sat down, got out the way. Nobody knew that this person was in the building. These are the little things that X is talking about. You watch, you listen, you follow it, you incorporate it, and then when you're moving in these places, it's like a tool belt. When it's time to pull that piece out, you got it already available to you.
Hey, Melvin, I need to know where you got that great suit from that you posted the other day. I like that one. I ain't gonna hold you. I like that one.
Look, your boy shop at K&G, dog. I don't spend no money. I'm frugal. I get 2 or 3 for 100 or whatever it is.
Hey,
just real quick, touching on what Kevin said, I tell guys all the time, and I'm a testament to this as well. Mentorship literally leverages and literally propels you to go further than your mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to find. We're all trying to be trailblazers, but the trail is already made.
You can't
walk down.
reinvent the wheel, baby.
That's all you got to do. And I tell guys, find somebody that speaks your language, speaks your talk, and where you want to be, and then you will be there before you know it. Every step of my career, I looked at the next person that was here, I emulated, and next okay, cool, hey, I got a seat. Now the next person, okay, let me look, got a seat. So that's the best way to do it, to basically go about doing this thing protection. You don't got to, belittle anybody, talk down anybody, think you're too good for a mentor. At every stage of your career, it should be another level. That's simple.
That's a fact.
Every stage of your career is another level.
Listen, Mike, tell them how old you are, brother. I don't know if you want to put your business out there.
No, that's fine. Actually, on the 22nd, I turned 34. So I've been doing this my whole adult life.
What?
And yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. When he told me how old he was, I said, Mike, I need to know every class you went to. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. I need to know every app you move. Hey, what book you reading right now, brother? How many books? Because I'm a couple years ahead of you in age, and I feel like I'm behind you in status. So and I don't mind saying that to another man, like, hey, bro, I salute you. I got so much more respect for you now because you is on that. And I appreciate that because now you put a battery in my back. I'm about to tighten up. Like, I love that. I'm competitive, but not in a terrible way. So you young guys, anybody watching this, don't be scared to ask a question.
That's it.
Don't be scared. Take the ego out the way because no matter how much you think you've accomplished, you look to the left or the right, there's somebody who done it 10 times faster than you or better than you. And you can learn from them. There's a reason why Mark James' little ass can walk around the biggest rooms and don't get no problems. He will flip you. Do you know that? No, you don't, but you're just looking at the suits. You got to research and learn people and pay attention and understand their journey can help you in so many ways if you just watch them. I watched Elijah for 3 years before I went to Icon. I'm dying to learn. I'm trying to get some more wrinkles in this brain. And I'm trying to really be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
But you are.
I'm big on that.
But you are here.
No. Yeah, exactly.
But Kevin, I got so much more to go, brother. Look, listen, I'm gonna tell you how I see it. Kevin, I ain't had a Hollywood actor yet. I need that. I need an Oscar. I need one night at the Oscars.
Listen, let me tell you about that. It's fun until that strike come up.
That part.
Or that union strike come up. Now you want some, damn, I need somebody who industry don't strike for 6 months to a year.
Totally.
That's a fact. Like I look at Kevin, I'm looking at Kevin, I'm like, damn, I ain't had no American politician yet. I need that. Let me watch him, see how he's shaking and moving, because I know who he be standing next to. And I know the paperwork and the research they do to allow you in that room.
That's
so for that, you gotta just watch and let people help elevate you. Don't be jealous. Don't be hating. Don't be mad. Don't be upset. When I go to New Zealand and I see them Uso brothers, I talk to all of them because I want to know what y'all got going on over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need to know who the big dogs is so I can be safe. Because like Ben said earlier, we can't go everywhere with a gun.
No.
Come on. Listen, to be honest with you, most places you go in executive section is unarmed. We can look at statistics. I'm a statistic guy again. About 5% of EPDs has ever fired their gun.
Or pulled it out.
So is the gun even relevant? Because the only true protection, like I said earlier, is the preventative left of bang stuff before it goes bang. Because when things go bang, it's like a fight. It's You hit me in my jaw, I hit you in yours, we may knock each other out. But this time it's life or death. So these are the things that come about. You know, and half the stuff we look at it, even when you start studying, because I move a lot in Central Latin America, we start studying the most modern EP tactics. A lot of them don't work because you're going against a narco state. You can't go over there and think you're the big dog with a little pistol. They have a rocket launcher. They got a SAM. They can shoot down y'all airplane.
Mike, who I called in Brazil. Hey, Mike, who you got?
You did.
You got to be. Listen, you can't reinvent the wheel. You don't have to change the blueprint. Just ask questions. Just ask questions and keep it positive. Y'all ain't gangster.
No,
y'all really ain't gangster.
Listen, that's it. I had a detail where we had to go into Juarez to do some interviews. You know, I ain't gangster. You know what I did? I found a Hispanic dude that speaks the language, that looked the part, and I stayed on the other side of the border, and I monitored their movements. You know what I'm saying? Because I already knew ain't nobody looking like me in that. Yeah, ain't nobody looking like me in that area. So we made sure that we did the recon. I saw that they wear a lot of Adidas in Mexico, right? We outfitted everybody with the little soccer shirts that they wear and the sneakers that they wear, and then we send them in so they can blend in. So these are the little tricks that you learn.
Come on now.
You know, and I didn't, like, my ego didn't come into play like, oh, no, I got to be the guy that take them in there. Hell no, I was thinking about getting home. So, and because we was going into a heavily cartel-controlled area, you know, I knew my black ass was walking through there and they not, you know what I'm saying? I had to create the team to go in there. So, again, you take the ego out of it and the op is the only thing that matters. Was it a successful op?
Yes.
Yep. Everybody got in and we got out safely and it was a good day. And guess what? The client looked at me like, I was the man.
Yeah.
And I ain't even go in
You made it
there.
happen.
Yeah,
You made it
and I made it
happen.
happen.
That's all that
I was on
matters.
the other side sipping lemonade, eating a sandwich.
That's it.
I need that advance work, boy. I'm trying to be that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mike Bell was with me. He was out there at the border, and the crazy thing is, we lost all of our government support the night
Of
before.
course.
It was
Murphy
madness.
law.
It
Murphy
was
law. It's
madness.
gonna happen.
Yes,
For
indeed.
sure.
But you know what? Let's see if we
Mike's
can get
my
Black Shark
guy.
in here, so I can, because I'm about to jump off myself because I'm actually working and I need to be up early.
Yeah.
So
Black Shark, man, that's probably gonna prolong this. I supposed to have been off of this thing 40 minutes ago. So if y'all cool with that, and we can one, definitely we got to get together offline, but we can come back and reconvene another live, and we probably should be doing these kind of regularly, to put out some good content for people, man. Really not in the content perspective, but an information perspective, knowledge.
Love that.
Yeah. Any closing words y'all want to say, and then we'll find another day to jump back on and finish the conversation.
Sure.
let's just move in peace and move in knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Reach out to people with questions, and not like what Mel said. Don't call and be like, "Yo, you got a job, you got a job, you got a job." No, let's do it in a real way and make it organic. If I feel like
Totally agree.
you only calling me because you want something, okay, now I'm gonna ask you what you're gonna do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
if you can't do something for me, then it's not a transaction.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that we got to understand. Networking ain't asking what I can do for you.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that I basically want to leave the people with is stay a student. No matter where you go in this game, there's always some learning to do. Stay a student, stay humble, and be able to be coachable and teachable. Because some guys think they're at this level or our level and think, nobody can tell me nothing. But, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I did martial arts, and I always got this saying, you can always learn from a white belt, somebody that knows nothing. So stay coachable, stay humble, and stay learning. That's my main piece to leave you guys with.
I love it, man. Thank you, guys. I have to tell you, I'm very honored that you took the time out of your day to come on here, man, and that we were able to leave the people with something productive. And I'm looking forward to continuing to build on the relationships that we have already established. So with that, man, I know it's time that y'all got things to do.
Yes,
so
sir. Be blessed.
Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your family, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's
Take care.
Mike Brown, Kevin Ghee, Melvin Key. Go ahead, guys.
All right. Peace.
Yes, appreciate you, though.
All right, appreciate y'all. Love
All
y'all,
right.
man. Peace. All right,
Peace.
everybody else, thank y'all for joining. Again, man, I try to deal with the best professionals in the industry. A lot of these guys, y'all have no idea who they are. Some of them don't have a bunch of followers, but these guys are really operating at top level in the industry. And Kevin said this Mr. O'Boy said this is that he didn't know what to expect. And Kevin and I talked after we exchanged the first comments. I called him up and said, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" We had a talk. We talked it out, our different perspectives, because that's how professionals do things. We laughed, we got off the phone, and what I realized is that if we posted this and said, "Hey, we're going to have a productive conversation," we probably would have 20 or 30 people on here. But people like drama. They want to see us pitted against each other. And that's what brought most of the viewers here, and not because of our credibility. But I'm going to tell you, we may clash and we may have debates from time to time. But this thing is always going to stay positive, no matter how people feel about, where they stand on different issues. We're always going to keep it positive. We're always going to promote the things to help you guys grow and develop in the security industry. And we're always going to be here as a resource for you. But you guys got to be, like they said, you got to be prepared. Ben said you got to be home to answer the door. And I always say, run the route. I'm going to get you the ball. But you got to run the route. You got to be coachable. And you got to be trainable. And you have to be willing to put something in and not always come in to take something out. All right. Again, thank you guys for checking us out.